Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's the Village University Park regular meeting. It's called to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Williams.
She's out.
Trustee, yes, she's here.
Okay.
Trustee Wilson.
Here.
Trustee Brooks.
He had death in the family. He's out of town.
Trustee McMullen.
He's on his way. Line late.
Trustee Payton.
Here.
Trustee Brown.
Here.
And Mayor Covington.
Present. Please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes for the public hearing of Tuesday, August 14th, regular meeting held August 14th, and regular special meeting in September 25th.
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Payton,
Second.
second by Trustee Oscar Brown. Any questions, concerns, comments? Clerk G. Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
I know I was supposed to submit something to you, and I apologize. I've been so busy. Is it okay if I submit it to you at a later date?
If you would like, I think it might be appropriate if we have a motion to amend the minutes to include your report that will be submitted.
Okay. Is there a motion so that I am permitted to amend the minutes?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Payton,
Second.
second by Trustee Oscar Brown. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. Before we go on to general public right now, I'd ask for a moment of silence. One of our long life residents, Mr. Williams, am I correct, Clerk D. Jones?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Williams?
Ernest Williams.
Yes, Mr. Ernest Williams. He and his wife have been residents in University Park for some time, and also for Theo Brooks' grandmother. And it's ironic, he had just talked to me last week, joking about some of the things she'd get on him about. So if you would join me for a special moment of silence in their behalf, appreciate it. Thank you. This time, general public comments. Anybody have a? Go. Who's gonna go pick it up? You signed in? You probably all. Yeah, you didn't sign in. Let it rock. Thank you, sir. Mr. Johnny Rice. Oh, before you speak, would you read the statement for us, please?
Visitors are always welcome to all public meetings of the Board of Trustees. To comment on an issue, persons wishing to speak will be called upon by the mayor during Section E, General Public Comment. The interested party will stand, identify themselves, and make their comment. In order to give proper consideration to all items on this agenda, the mayor will limit participants in a debate and will close off protracted, repetitive, irrelevant, or abusive remarks. Public comments will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. And the village does have a public comment policy that limits the speaker's time to 3 minutes. It also limits a response by the board to 2 members.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Johnny Rice. I came up here once before talking about the school board. They had a meeting on April 6th at 9 a.m., which was not on their schedule on the website. I was not able to attend because I didn't know where it was, and it wasn't on their website, and I had a problem with that. And they had a meeting in Talala, which was very, had a lot of people there concerned about the closing of Talala. From my understanding, on that Saturday morning, they decided to change what they were going to do. Now, the new changes, it's not formal yet, or as far as I understand, not constructive yet. As far as the schedule, if they're going to do the maintenance, they do have to do the life-saving maintenance that they said, but there's no schedule on it. There's no further information on that. And I just wanted to let the people, the mayor and the trustee know, because I understand that you were not there. People were not there. It upsets me very much that they did not have a contingency plan, and I would like to say that Dr. Hall and Mr. Brown did mention that once before in a meeting, that they didn't have a contingency plan for this. If they did not raise taxes yet, because they don't know what they're going to do now. And I think that that's a leadership and a management on the board itself, from the board president on down. For the 5, they came up with this plan, then they scratched this plan, then they didn't have no other plan in its place, and they're going to come up with another plan. When that happens, I have no idea, and I don't know. Maybe at the next board meeting they come up with something. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Mr.
Rice.
Right, Mr. Rice. I'm sorry about that, but they are meeting in regards to what was the closing of Talala and Coretta Scott King. I will be making some recommendations in regards to what they can do to do the life safety measures. Basically, I'll go ahead and I'll tell you now, and I'll be letting them know tomorrow, that it's mostly through green projects through the state of Illinois. I've looked up statutes for that, and I'll be sharing that tomorrow. I don't have the information exactly, so I can tell you exactly what I'm talking about via statute, but I think that would be a very good way to go, to come up with an alternate plan to use green technology, both for plumbing and air conditioning for Coretta Scott King. It's very possible that you could use it for other life safety issues there as well. But again, I'll be letting them know that exactly tomorrow. I would tell you exactly, but I have it written down, but I don't have it memorized. So
I don't expect that from you, but I did expect that from them.
And just for the record, they haven't given us anything. The board, no one has given us anything about the meetings and the results from the meetings either. So,
And I think that they're taking public money,
yep, it should be public
and they
information.
should be more forthcoming with what they came up with this plan. I know my 3 minutes might be up, but I'll make it brief. They came up with this plan. They threw it out there, unbeknownst to nobody, when they already had a plan, and now they're trying to figure out what they want to do. This is a leadership. I think there's a problem with the leadership. I think there's a problem with the 5. They were trying to push this through, and then they found out that people from Crete and people from Monique were not enthused about sending their kids from Crete to Monique, and the people from Monique were not enthused by sending their kids to Monique, to Crete, excuse me. So that was their problem, and then they had our issue. And then they decided that they were going to redo this plan. And it, like I said, they had no contingency. They thought that they were just going to push this through, as quite of us discussed before with here. And now they're scrambling. And like I said, this is a leadership problem. Thank you. Oh, my wife also wanted me to mention the fact that they do not have very many African American teachers there, and she considers that a very big problem with that district. And I know you can't do anything about that, but I think that with us in Talala, parents in Talala, and Park Forest, Marion, and here, that we can stress that we would like to have more African Americans, teachers, and professionals in the school district. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rice, as always. Trustee Milton Payton?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. One of the things I think we need to do, Mayor, and we've had this conversation with them, is that the school board needs to meet with our board, and we need to make our recommendations on what needs to be done, what's best for our community, and the economic development related to it. Again, I'm not in favor of putting a Band-Aid on Coretta Scott King. We need a new Coretta Scott King in a location that's going to stimulate some housing economic development, and that will help us to get more revenue from the tax dollars associated with it. And then the more rooftops that you have, the more attractive commercial development then becomes. So I think we need to make that clear to them that we would not support any referendum that they would need to go out to get the money for the facilities plan that they currently have. And if necessary, then we need to have our attorneys to send them some appropriate notification as to what our position is. But in the meantime, I think we need to try to work along with them, and so that they jointly understand where we're coming from. So, and since our board represents all the community here in University Park, I think the board needs to provide their input to the school district.
That's so noted, and we will schedule that. I'll get it to the board. What dates would be good for everyone? Make a contact tomorrow to their school board. Yes, sir?
I'm sorry to bring that up. Mr. Payton, would that be open to the public too, so that we can listen?
Sure, it will be.
We might not be able to ask questions. You could ask questions, but I would like to hear some of the answers.
Right.
I don't want like a closed session.
Yeah,
Oh, no, it can't.
Yeah, we're limited, and the mayor's, it's part of the Open Meetings Act. In order for, if three or more of us get together,
Right.
and if three or more of the school board members get together, then it's got to be posted as an open meeting. And in something like that, however it's structured, as part of the Open Meetings Act, the public has the right to speak, so they can allocate time for that.
I understand that, Mr. Payton, but as I said earlier, they had, I'm not contradicting you, I'm just making a complaint, not to the village, but on the school board itself. When they made this meeting on the 6th at 9 a.m., there was no where it was going to be at. And if you go on their website, it was not on their website. I did call and try to find it. I was told that basically they didn't know, the person who I talked to didn't know what I was talking about. I did try to get information on it. My problem is they're not in fully compliant with the what you said about the
Open
public.
Meetings Act?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We'll let you know, Mr. Rice.
Public.
Yes. Okay. Next person is Ms. Deborah Stroud.
I'm not as tall as him. Good evening, board. Good evening, those present and those viewing. My condolences go out to the Brooks family. I wasn't aware that his grandma had passed, but he did tell us all about that, so I extend my condolences. Also, I'm glad you had mentioned about Ernest Williams. For those that don't know, Ernest was the husband of Bertie Williams, who was one of the original members of the University Park Senior Citizens Committee. Also the dad of Laverne Williams. And truthfully, Madam Mayor, when I saw Dee today, I looked for you because you be at everything all the time. Okay, I was shocked I didn't see you.
My
But
job said and I couldn't take leave, so.
I understand.
10
you
o'clock
know.
in the morning.
Yeah, I understand. But it was a beautiful service, and myself, we go back to the days of Park 4 South, JC's, when he played ball. So it was quite a loss, definitely. But on a hopefully better note, I am very proud. I took a count. Everybody knows my passion about voter registration. And I took a count all the way back to 2012 records that I have. I have registered over 100 people. Independently, and when I say independently, it's not with League of Women Voters or anything such as that. I just show up where I can go. I set up where I can set up. And just this year alone, out of the sessions that were coordinated at Crete-Monee, there were over 19, 17, and 18-year-olds that registered to vote. I'm just got my fingers crossed that they go on and vote. Okay? And Trustee Wilson, last board meeting, I was asking you about the family event of Human Services for Halloween. So is it possible you can give me some information on that?
So Human Services Special Events Committee is partnering with the library. There's been a lot of people trying to do events independently. Human Services Special Events is just restarting this past July, and different churches, organizations have all started doing their own thing. So the library reached out to Human Services Special Events, and so we wouldn't have 4 separate events. The Human Service Special Events is partnering with them. It's on October 27th, 1 to 3 p.m. And so we're still having a trunk or treat. They're having STEAM events inside. If anybody wants to volunteer for a trunk or treat or a table inside, it's still the same thing. They have other activities inside. I don't have the list of all the activities. But it changed a little bit because we didn't want to have 3 events on one Saturday in the same community.
Okay. All right.
And so this is the library. Have you been to the libraries?
I did
Trunk
get
or
the
treat?
newsletter. I have gone in the past.
Right.
Halloween is one of the biggest holidays to me. You know, it's the big kid in me. I usually wear my little costume, so I didn't know if I could possibly get in the contest. You know, being a family event. So I know when I was at the library, I think Saturday, I was told it was 1 to 5, and you're saying it's 1 to 3?
Well, we were there Friday. We were there Saturday.
Well, maybe it's,
We had the
it starts at 1. I'll put it that
Okay.
way. It starts at 1.
Okay.
And depending on the activities and what's going on and how many additional trunkers we get. So inside will be STEAM activities, outside will be trunk or treat, a fire pit, and some other activities depending on the weather. Now, if it pours down rain, we'll all be inside at tables instead.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, come to think of it, we were at the last one together when you
Right.
you were on the motorcycle.
Right. So this is, I believe, the library's 4th annual trunk or treat, and it just grows every year. Feel free to wear your costume.
Right.
Oh, I always do. Okay, thank you.
And for the record, I know there's been talk about that. We were blessed to be able, you know, the Special Events Committee and all the committees were disassembled. And we brought them back. This new board has brought them all back. So it's taken a while for us to recant these relationships again. So we've talked, we have meetings. I have meetings set with all the churches and the Special Events Committee. I'm getting a calendar together. So we'll be back on track the way we used to. When we started the coat drive, pictures with Santa, all those good things are coming back because the committee's working really hard to do that. And they would like to work back with all of the churches and anybody else that's having anything, so we'll be on one accord. that's our new thing to do, because it wasn't there, so everybody just branched off. But they are going to work together now, so we'll have one event. That's the leadership that we're doing now.
Okay.
So you'll be getting that scheduled soon for Special Events Committee for next year and this year, so they're really working hard on that. And I commend them.
So as far as this year, possibly, will there be anything for Thanksgiving or Christmas?
I'm not sure, I can't speak to that yet, but I know they're doing something for Veterans Day. They're working on something for Veterans Day. It might be something, last year I gave away $800 worth of turkeys, but that was a mishap. But we will be doing something for Christmas for sure.
Okay, that's what I was asking,
Yes.
because I
Yes,
deal
they
with a
will
lot
be.
of seniors throughout the community.
Oh, yeah.
And I just like to be aware, so if they
Oh, yeah.
need transportation, I'll do my best.
They'll be advertising.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You very much.
Okay.
Okay, that's all that was listed. Anyone else would like to speak since we have 30 minutes? Okay, we'll move on to our next agenda item. Action items, unfinished business, none. New business, first, second, and third reading ordinance on the Village of University Park, Will, and Cook Counties, Illinois, to set a date for and to approve a public notice of a public hearing for TIF 7, Stager Road and Central Avenue. Is there a motion? Moved by Trustee Paula Wilson, second? Second by Trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Just one comment, Mayor.
I'm sorry.
The public hearing is scheduled for December the 10th, the 11th at
I thought
The 11th?
10 a.m. here at the
it
council.
changed.
I'm
No,
sorry.
it's,
Trustee Joe?
no, I was just looking.
Huh?
Okay, so it's December.
11th, December 11th. Right. Okay.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
this is just my own personal use.
Uh-huh. Trust.
But the assessed land value, this is for the attorney. The assessed land value and the incremental dollar amount, is that something that's going to be determined with the joint committee when it's actually put together? Or is this something going to be determined by the board here?
The assessed land value?
Yes. This tip 7, the land is going to know anything about that?
I may not be understanding your question, but the assessed value on property is not
Right.
set by the village itself. What property is assessed at is through Will County.
Right.
What this hearing
There-
is
there's a
for
joint-
is before if the village wants to move forward and pass an ordinance to adopt TIF 7, there's a requirement pursuant to state statute that a public hearing on any proposed TIF prior to that occurring, and you have to set the date, publish notice, and that's what this ordinance is doing, is to set that date. And then the notice can get published in the newspaper, and interested parties can hear.
I just wanted to know that.
Okay, Treasurer.
Thank you.
Okay, no worries. Okay. Roll call, please.
Trustee Wilson. Trustee McMullen.
Both sides.
Trustee Payton. Trustee Brown. And Mayor Covington.
Aye. And just to let the audience know, this is a great thing that someone has already came in, some investors, to look at this land, and they're talking about, they've owned the land. I met the people, I think Trustee McMullen was in my office once about it when he was there, and I know Trustee Payton as well. And the guy went, and we need the assessment done, and they volunteered, they paid $70,000 for the assessment and studies. We're really, really happy about that. And they asked us the interest, what we'd like to see. I have brought it to the village. They came and did a presentation here, and we'll do another one just to let you see. And they're talking about building hotels on the new I-57. They were very, very excited about that happening. And they asked us, what do we want to see? And they said hotels, fast food chains, and we asked also for a family-style restaurant as well, so families can go and visit and sit down and enjoy, and there are other things that we're looking forward to. So that's what this is, building a new TIF 7 area so that they can bring their enterprise and their companies here. So it's a big yahoo for the village. We're really excited about it coming here.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
that's ordinance 2018-33.
Forward to advancements in University Park. F2B, first, second, and third reading, ordinance of the Village of University Park, Willoughby Counties, Illinois, and ordinance amending sections 1232-02, D4 of Chapter 1232 of the Title 6 of the Part 12 of the Codified Ordinance of the Village of University Park and Willoughby Counties, increasing the size of storage shed. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Miller. Second by Wilson, second by Trustee Oscar Brown. Is there questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown. And Mayor Covington.
Votes aye.
Madam Mayor, that's ordinance 2018-34.
Thank you. F2C, first, second, and third reading, an ordinance amending Chapter 808 of the Title 2 of the Part 8 of the Codified Ordinance of the Village of University Park, Willoughby Counties, Illinois, amending the number of retail liquor dealer license to be issued. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Payton, second by Trustee McMullen. To explain to you on this one, and I'm sorry, I want to backtrack on the other one. The other one is for people that, if you like a shed in your, some people have storage and they've been vandalized in storage places, they'd like to have a specific shed in their backyards, and they wanted a little larger. That's why the request was made from a resident, and then we adopted it for them, so they can increase the storage side. This other one, we had a presentation from Speedway. They'd like to modify their area. Trustee McMullen was there, and it was something that they want to expand right there on Governor's Highway and make it a little bit more pleasing to the eye. And then they will have the gaming, and they did a great presentation here. So we have expired as far as our liquor license, so we are looking here to expand them so they can be accommodated. That's the purpose. Yes, sir, Trustee?
You know, since Speedway came to make their presentation, and they indicated to us that their corporation, their corporate headquarters, the ones that make a determination whether they will expand or build or rebuild a gas station. And right now, I just really consider this to be a Band-Aid, what we're doing to help support them. But that location needs to have a major expansion on the gas station there, something that befits our community. When you take a look at the location of that gas station, it's at a train station. It's next to the largest industrial park in the state. It's not too far off of the I-57 expressway. It's near a university. And if anything, we ought to have a first-class Speedway gas station at that location. So while we're trying to help them out and get the video game, and they're not doing an expansion, they're just doing a little remodeling on this. And that, to me, I mean, I like Speedway because I like their marketing program where you can get the discounts and that. But hell, every time I go there, you can't hardly get in there. And I end up going somewhere else. So that tells me they need to rebuild that station and have something that's first class for our community.
Okay, so with that said, and I respect that, we could table this and have a further discussion. And I move that someone table it, so we could do that.
Well, I'll make a motion to table it.
Okay? Second. Motion by Trustee Payton, second by Trustee Wilson. Table. Thank you. And we will recontact. I'm sorry. Roll call.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen. Trustee McMullen.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. And I ask Ms. Kitchen, would you make a note that we contact them so they can resubmit? Thank you. F2D, first, second, and third reading, an ordinance amending two-part Title 8 of the codified ordinance of the Village of University Park, Will and Cook Counties, Illinois, establishing an economic development committee. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wilson, second by trustee McMullen.
Yeah.
Questions?
Yeah, just one thing. I didn't have a chance to research it, but I'm almost positive we already have
That's what I said.
an economic development committee, because remember, we had this, and we may have even changed it, because the original economic development committee had 15 members,
Right.
and they were supposed to be 2 appointed by each one of the trustees, and they were supposed to meet at like 9 o'clock in the morning on a certain day in a month, and we
Long
said,
time ago.
well, hell, nobody can attend, those meetings,
Yep.
let alone all of the politics that would go into appointing people, to the committee. So unless this also supersedes that, I think we need to make sure we have this correct.
And I did question, and I'll turn it over to the clerk, T. Jones.
When I took a look at it, I think Trustee Payton is talking back to when we had the Industrial Commission, the Industrial Park Committee, and the Economic Development, and they merged them.
Oh,
That's the last thing I could find.
oh, okay.
But as far as the Economic Development Committee itself, I cannot find, once it was removed years ago, I cannot find where it was brought back. I was able to find where appointments had been made, the same people, and that's when I brought it to your attention that
Right.
I had.
Okay.
And I could not find where it was ever brought back
Okay.
as a separate.
I thought we did when we brought back all the other ones. with
Now, I
my
looked
hair.
at that list, and it was not on that list.
Okay.
Okay.
So we do want to bring it back, and they will be dealing with industrial park. So we'll probably have the same type of functions for them. But we do have a list of people that's eager to jump on it. So with that said, is there a motion?
We got a
motion, I'm sorry. Roll call.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Mayor Covington.
Aye, and we do have college students that's from Governor State that's volunteered and spoke to me that's on it. Okay,
Madam Mayor.
and I'll submit that to you. Thank you.
That's ordinance 2018-35.
Thank you very much. F2E, resolution of the Village of University Park, Will and Cook Counties, Illinois, authorizing the execution of a settlement agreement and release of claims relative to a contract with Wells Fargo Financial Leasing, Inc. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by trustee Wilson. Second by trustee McMullen.
Listen.
Yes, sir?
Yes.
Trustee Watson Brown.
Who is Trika Dobbs?
This would, pardon me?
In the agreement, the first paragraph, there's references to Trika Dobbs.
Those are the prayers that somehow there was a mistake.
Madam Mayor, if I may, I think he's referencing to the agreement that the supervisor, Rico, had the authority for this amount.
That's not our people, those are Rico people.
Oh, sorry. I'll speak up.
Okay,
Trika Dobbs is, my understanding, she's a supervisor
Rico.
with Rico, and she had to authorize this on their end.
Okay. Any other questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Wilson. Trustee McMullen.
Both aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye.
Madam Mayor, this resolution R 2018-40.
Thank you. F2F, resolution of the Village of University Park, Will and Cook Counties, Illinois, authorizing execution of a settlement agreement in case number 2017 CH 1809. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It's moved by trustee.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Motion by trustee, Payton, and second by trustee McMullen.
Thank you.
Questions, concerns, comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye.
Madam Mayor, that's Resolution R 2018-41.
Thank you. F2G, resolution of the Village of University Park, Will and Cook Counties, Illinois, authorizing execution of a settlement agreement with the general release regarding a power supply coordination service agreement with Direct Energy Business LLC and Direct Energy Business Marketing LLC. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Wilson.
Second.
Second by Trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments? Roll call.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye.
Madam Mayor, that's Resolution R 2018-42.
Thank you. F2H, appointment, motion to appoint Pizza Kitchen to Human Services Special Events Committee. There a motion? Moved by Trustee McMullen, second.
Second.
Second by Trustee Payton. I'm sorry, Trustee Payton. Yes, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. Term is, isn't it a 3-year term?
But I think your first 4 that were appointed, were they not 3-year terms?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're gonna the next.
If they're staggered terms, then the next ones would be 2-year terms and then 1-year terms, I would assume. I can't say for sure. Because you've got a 7-member committee, voting. Right.
So if we stagger on 3, 2, and 1, everybody will be up at the same time, right?
No, if you stagger them 3, 2, and 1, then
Right.
they would not be up at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So we've got your first 4 already at 3, am I correct?
Yes.
Then this would be for a 2-year term.
Okay.
I would think.
Any other questions?
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, so we need to amend this from the question marks to a specific year.
Right.
Right.
2020.
20. So Mayor, I would like to amend the motion to make it December 31st, 2020.
Okay. Thank you for the second, Trustee Oscar Brown. 2020. Okay, any others? Hearing none, roll call.
This is on the amendment first.
Yes, ma'am.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Mayor Covington.
Votes aye. Okay, now the motion to appoint Ms. Kitchen to Human Services Special Events Committee.
We've got the motion.
You did that? Okay.
We just
All right.
need to do the roll call.
Oh, okay, thank you. F2I,
We've got to do the roll call on the
oh, sorry, roll
appointment.
call. That's what I'm
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. Thank you. F2I, presentation from Billy Casper. I'm going to ask that someone table it because they're not here to.
Motion to table.
Motion tabled by Trustee Wilson, second by Trustee Oscar Brown. Roll call.
Trustee Wilson.
Aye.
Trustee McMullen.
Votes aye.
Trustee Payton.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
And Mayor Covington.
Aye. Okay.
Yes, we don't have much to say, do we?
F2J is bills payable. Just a second. Okay. Thank you. Attached for your approval is a listing of the general operating expenses for the Village of University Park that occurred on September 26, 2018 through October 23, 2018. General funds, $200,900.48. Debit service, $425. Road and Bridge Fund, $32,745.82. Town Center Funds, $12,512.42. Capital Project Funds, $85,380.40. Payroll Fund, $3,281.44, totaling $333,245.89. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Trustee Payton, second by Trustee McMullen. Questions, concerns, comments?
She can't find it. Time's up, time's up.
I think I will just. I do that. Thorn Creek Woods Management Commission membership dues. What is that for? I see we can answer.
That's right.
Because you know Thorn Creek does one with years, so.
I'm sorry.
Portion of Thorn Creek. I don't know. We don't have any answers.
I'll defer all my questions to the village manager.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay. Hearing none. Roll call, no others rather.
Trustee Wilson.
Abstain.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. Can I go back? I do have a question. About some training. I'm not gonna go out because of certain things on the floor. But I had a question about some training, and I think I would like to hold it off. Check number. Here I go, check number. Where's the check number? Hold on. I got it. Here it is. I'm sorry. Thank you. Check number 102927. I'd like to hold that out before I get the information.
What's the number? 102?
102927. I'd like to do all but that particular one. Yes.
Yeah.
Second.
No.
We're changing the motion to hold it out, except that one. Amended to hold out that particular payment, 102 on the back of, I'm sorry, page 2. 100 that. And I wish I could ask this question. I thought it was it's nobody answered. I don't know.
That was the board. You mean reimbursable after the fact?
Right.
That policy was for the board. As I read it.
So the check number in question is for $9,500, and I think that one of the questions is for training, did that need to be approved prior to doing it? I think,
Yes, sir. This is Jesse.
just so everybody know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was 2 conferences though, so the reimbursements would have been less than, they were probably less than 10,000 each, but I think it involved 2 conferences. I think the one was in Arizona, one was in Florida.
I wasn't sure. I would still like to question that, to make sure clarification. Nobody, does Chelios, Chief Chelios, would you know that?
That's a no on that, Mayor. I'm not,
Okay.
I haven't been briefed on any of the bills like that tonight.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, that's.
So we did have a
Motion.
motion and a second to hold that. Who were they?
Okay. Right,
That was to pay the bills, but I'm talking about to pull this check.
yes.
Did we get a motion and a second?
No. Motion to hold out for this check.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to amend to remove this check until we get clarification.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Second by Trustee Wilson. Okay. Any others? Okay, roll call.
This is
To
to,
pay the bill.
no,
I mean,
this is to
hold out
hold
the
this
particular
check.
check.
And this is to hold for clarification
Yes,
or to
ma'am.
pull it? Okay. Trustee Wilson.
Votes aye for the amendment.
Trustee McMullen. Trustee Payton. Trustee Brown. And Mayor Covington.
Aye. No. Roll call. Bills payable?
Bills payable, right. We had started it, and Trustee Wilson had abstained. Do we continue?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee McMullen.
Both sides pay the bill.
Trustee Payton.
Both sides pay the bill.
Trustee Brown. And Mayor Covington.
Both sides. Thank you. At this time, I would ask for reports of the village manager. Did he leave? I'm sorry, a village manager had a procedure and he's out today, so that's why he's not here today? Yes. So I don't go into detail of the act. So we have a report for him?
I have 2 items that I received from the manager this afternoon. The first is a reminder to everyone for the University Park Community Tree Planting Event scheduled for Saturday, October 27th, 2018, from 8:30 to 1 p.m. And the flyer states that all volunteers should meet at 1087 Amherst Lane. Everyone's reminded that the weather could be inclement, so be prepared to dress for the weather and be prepared to get dirty and have fun as well. The second one is a report that he addressed to the Finance Committee and Board of Trustees dated October 17th, 2018, that he asked me to read out to the public this evening. And it's regarding a Village of University Park finance update and progress report. The village has engaged with Spear Financial to be the village's municipal financial advisor, and they have been working with the village to put in place a financial plan that the Finance Committee and Board of Trustees will find to be satisfactory. As the village gets closer to audit compliance, Spear Financial will be meeting with the Finance Committee and Board of Trustees in a joint setting to understand the village's priorities moving forward. The village financial independence and road infrastructure improvements are some of those on the initial goals for the village, along with the village's availability to deal with any financial liabilities moving forward. In February 2016, the manager at the time laid off the entire finance department and kept 1 employee for minimal coverage for the finance department, which consisted of accounts recoverable, payable, and cash receipt operations. During this time period, entries were not made in the fund balance and various other accounting systems. In March of 2017, IRH began the daunting task of completing bank reconciliations and making the appropriate ledger entries for the budget year 2015, 16, and 17, which is targeted for completion by October 31st, 2018. These entries and reconciliations were done in budget year order, as mentioned, 2015 first, followed by 16, 17, and so on. The village has made great strides in making progress in relation to catching up on bank reconciliations, recording cash receipts, and various other finance department functions. IRH has completed all municipal accounting functions for the years 2015 and 2016, The year 2017 is currently in progress and should be completed by October 31st, 2018. As work continues, the village's auditors, WUPC LLP, continue working on finalizing 2015 audits in partnership with Lauterbach and Amen in order to get adjusted journal entries done to coincide with the beginning balance that WUPC is currently working with at the beginning of the fiscal year 2016 audit period. This will require Lauterbach and Amen to make edits to their draft audit in order to go final, so all audits going forward will be in compliance. The village advertised for a firm to conduct municipal accounting services in the second quarter of 2018, and these firms were evaluated by a 5-panel committee. The committee evaluated the 3 firms that submitted and provided a recommendation for 2 firms to go forward, with 1 firm being excluded and 2 firms moving forward to be reviewed by the Finance Committee and Board of Trustees. Unfortunately, 1 firm withdrew their name from consideration, and the other firm is the village's current auditors, which would leave the village transitioning to another audit firm, which is not advantageous to the process we are making in updating the village's financials and placing us in a secured position at the end of this year. It would be the manager's recommendation to take a second look at the 1 firm that was excluded and conduct a joint Finance Committee and Board of Trustees meeting to evaluate this firm and provide advice and direction to the manager related to the subject moving forward. In terms of audit status, as the Finance Committee is aware, the village engaged with Lauterbach and Amen for fiscal year 2015 audit, and we are still working with them to get adjusted journal entries completed and closed out for the fiscal year 2015 audit. The reasons for the adjusted journal entries is related to bank reconciliations not being completed while Lauterbach and Amen was conducting the 2015 audit, including the field work that was conducted by their organization. Upon IRH completing the village's bank reconciliations for fiscal year 2015 and making their ledger entries, it was discovered that the ending balance in Lauterbach and Amen's draft audit report for fiscal year 2015 was inaccurate, which caused the village, in reaching out to Lauterbach and Amen with the assistance of IRH, to get them to adjust their ending ledger balances on multiple funds and work towards going final. The 2016 audit is still in progress, pending the changes for fiscal year 2015 being made. Once fiscal year 2015's audit is finalized, it will be able to close fiscal year 2016 in short order, since that audit has already began and is close to completion. The fiscal year 2017 audit will be completed shortly thereafter, with all audits, for example, 2015, 16, and 17, scheduled to be completed no later than December 31st of this year. In terms of TIF audit status, TIF audits are being conducted by Land and Company, CPA, and are scheduled to be completed by November 30th, 2018, which would bring the TIF audits up to date for fiscal years 2016, while fiscal year 2017 and 18 being slated for completion by December 31st of 2018. Land is making great progress with the completion of the TIF audits and moving the village forward to eventual full compliance with the TIF Act. Upon all TIF audits completed, they will be reviewed by myself, the manager, the village attorney, and provided to the Board of Trustees for final approval. The village is able to provide separate reports related to over-the-counter and direct deposit receivables, payables, and various other manual reports, if notified in advance for the request of a customized report. Fund balance currently has 3 fiscal years, 2015 through 17, open, with ledger entries being made and adjusted. This means that fund balance will not allow another fiscal year to be open for entries and automated reports to be produced. The village is very much aware of the potential conflict this may cause, but we are only working with the limitations provided to us by the software, and this is not a human-generated reason for not providing reports as requested by the Finance Committee. as we move forward with getting current with all of the village's financial requirements, no later than December 31st of 2018, the Finance Committee will be able to receive the automated reporting that they are requiring. And that is the end of the manager's report.
Thank you. And I hope that we can put that on our website for the people to review, our residents to have a copy of that and review it. Okay. Deputy Chief, do you have a report?
I don't have anything to report about.
I know, I'm going on tape. Okay, I'm sorry. There was someone told me something, I forgot. But I received a call on behalf of the police department, and they were really commending you for what's going on in the village. So I want to thank you for your efforts and your safety that you're doing in the village. Thank you very much. Any others, Treasurer Dilworth?
Okay, thank you, Mayor Covington and board members. But now my concern is that even though we have those open fiscal years, it's very important that we actually understand that the village's cash flow system, you know, from fiscal year, that the fiscal 15 all the way up to fiscal year 17, I believe that he mentioned that they are actually working on as of right now. You have to understand that the cash flow of the village doesn't have anything. It has a little bit to do with that, but the village's cash flow is actually the balance, the beginning balance of this fiscal year all the way up to the end of this fiscal year. You have, my concern is that you have two new expenses. It looks like that docket number F2, let's see, F2F, and then also F2E. These numbers, I mean, these amounts are very large amounts, and these numbers, these actual dollar amounts are actually going to be paid this fiscal year. So you have to realize that these numbers here, these amounts are not budgeted within this fiscal year budget. You also have to look at the fact that, and these are my facts, I don't know about the actual facts, but these are my facts, that the numbers on those the budgets that you actually see, that those numbers are inflated numbers. The reason why I say that these revenue numbers are inflated is due to the fact that the village's revenue has never been at $10 million. It's always have been around probably just a little over $8 million. So I don't know where that other $2 million is coming from, but that revenue is actually, it looks like to be inflated. You know, so if we actually still pulling money from TIFs,
No, we're not.
Well, I'm just saying,
No,
if you take a look at those budgets, you know, those dollars amounts are not supposed to be, the revenue is not supposed, if you actually take a look at fiscal years, the early fiscal years, all the way up until, I want to say the last time that we had a finance director, those dollars have always been at, revenue balance is always at 8 million, or a little bit over 8 million. So this is just something that for you guys to, I'm not, you know,
No. You have a right
trying to stir people up or anything like that, because it looks like everybody's just shaking their head and things like that. But this is my.
We're agreeing with you. We're saying yes, but just to let you know, and I guess the other trustees might speak to it, understand the fact that a budget, residents, is a working document.
Yes.
And these settlements are not going to be this lump sum. It's going to be broken up.
Yeah, but it's
So
paid.
it will work. No. There's an agreement that we have talked to that we can't share publicly. But what the amount is one thing. The payments is something else. And that's only if we have the money available. And it is a working document at all times. Your budget can be adjusted. So if we don't have it, we just don't have it. Some things will have to be cut for the next fiscal year. But I'll let, Trustee, did you want to say anything? Trustee Wilson, did anyone else want to address?
Mayor, let me
I'm sorry.
let me just
I thought
mention
you
something,
mentioned-
okay?
Yes, sir.
November 1st is the first. It will be the first payment for these dollar amounts here. Now, I understand that they've broken up into increments.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but the end of this fiscal year is when, towards the end of this fiscal year is when we, if you look at the letter, read it, it says that we are, these payments should be paid within this fiscal year. And it says that if we are, it says that if we are late on these payments, then we are responsible for the total amount, you know, ASAP. Okay, so, but we are supposed to make this is supposed to be paid within this fiscal year. So this is the reason why I'm saying that the budgets, you know, the budget, these docket numbers, you know, we didn't budget for these dollar amounts. And I know that we also paid other, you know, if you take a look at it, within this fiscal year, during our board meetings, we actually paid other dollar amounts that we have not budgeted for as well too. So these are new expense amounts that is being paid that has not been budgeted. So that's the reason why I'm talking about cash flow here within the village. You know, that if you actually take a look at, you know, the beginning balance of where we were during the actual date, okay, not just the fiscal year, but the actual date of our village's fund balance, all the way up until current. You know, these are different, you know, amounts than our fiscal year, beginning fiscal year, all the way up until current part of the fiscal year. So the cash flow, I believe, is very important for us to actually make sure that we have enough money towards the end of our fiscal year, that we have enough to actually pay our bills that we actually budgeted for, you know, towards the end of the year. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, sir. Trustee Payne.
Thanks, Mayor. Let me just say this. You made a comment that these were your facts and not necessarily the facts. And so, you know, I would be very careful just to put your facts out there as part of the overall comprehensive financial well-being of the village. For example, and this is something, this cash flow problem is something that I have brought up for years, and we have discussed on many occasions with the manager, with IRH Development, and we now also, as was indicated in Chief Chelios's report by the manager, hired a firm to help us with our financial planning. Now, to show you, just to give you an example of the fallacy of just using your facts related to the real estate taxes that have been collected. If you recall, as the treasurer, that we took out a TIF loan for cash flow purposes, realizing that we didn't have cash to cover everything. And this is not unlike other communities and or businesses that will take out a line of credit, or they will do a tax anticipation warrant until such time as the cash meets with the expenses. And so part of the long range plan of what we're looking at is either a tax anticipation warrant, a TIF loan, or maybe even a bond. So, but until we have the opportunity to work with our new expert in this matter, it's really, in my opinion, kind of irresponsible to indicate that we're not going to have money to pay our bills come the end of the fiscal year, which is the end of April of 2019. So part of the other piece of this is that, yes, we will probably have to kick the can down the road as, again, do many other communities. We did it when I was president of the school board, where we started off with having to use tax anticipation warrants to cover our cash flow. But what's on the horizon is the fact that we have TIFs that are expiring, where we're going to receive more revenue from. Okay? Not only in the short term, but also in the long term. And by long term, I'm talking about within the next probably 5 years. In addition to that, there's economic development that's going to be occurring, from which we will receive a substantial amount of money for just the permit fees. So if you're looking at, you know, a $60 or $70 million project, that's substantial. Okay, won't necessarily show up in the real estate taxes. So I would wait before any judgments are made on the financial wherewithal of this community until you have, and we all have, all of the facts, and we as a board decide what the plan is going to be based upon people who are experts in this area. And we hired some of the best in the state of Illinois to work with us to try to get us on solid ground. We have cleared up a lot of the bad things that this village did in the past for over 20 years. Going forward, we feel pretty comfortable that we will have adequate representation from outside sources that would be a lot more objective and less political in how the financial wherewithal and the management of this village goes. So again, I would be very cautious as to making any statements that people might misconstrue and adversely affect what we want to try to do for this village. It can be very damaging, very damaging.
And just to say, add to that as well, as Trustee Milton Payton said, all the new things, you look at TIF 7, look to 5 rather, and they're about to expire. That being said, I think they threw around a ballpark figure of $12 million, am I correct? Possible taxes, $13 million in taxes that will be coming from there. So those are the things that we're looking forward to. And as he said, there are people that are coming to this village on a regular basis, trying to open businesses. Those are fees that we get from them. Those are other things, as he said, not of tax dollars. There are other revenue taxes that are coming here. So that's what I'm excited about. Just like we said, the presentation we have for the people coming on I-57, building fees, fundings, permits, all that brings a lot of money. So I'm really looking forward to that. And a lot of people do not understand when people say, oh, for this fiscal year, some people don't know when our fiscal year starts or when it ends. So they think you're talking about December when we're talking about actually April. So, I'm sorry, Trustee Wilson?
I think I'm starting to see what Treasurer Dilworth is saying. Item number 1 on the settlement agreement says that we'll pay these sums on or before 10/31/18. And then item number 12 says the terms of these agreements are contractual and binding. And is that your concern? So I guess maybe we can check to find, I see the concern now, maybe we can check to see if we do have the money to pay these by 10/31. And if we do,
or what funds are they using to pay?
Where is the money
Right.
coming from? And then what's the plan? So we could get what village manager paid to address that.
Right, and there's a possibility of insurance. Some things are covered in insurance that will pay for certain things as well. So.
Yeah, Mayor, you know, the public needs to know also that without these settlements,
Oh, yeah.
the money would be due immediately,
Yep.
okay? And it would cost us, if we didn't have these settlements, it would cost us a lot more, except for the pension funds, which you know, one of the settlements involved. You know, we negotiated a substantial reduction from what the litigation initially, and we didn't have a leg to stand on.
We were gonna lose.
So they were generous enough to work with us to take the payments over a period of time. So it's not like all of our taxes necessarily come in one shot. They do come in during the course of the year. But we didn't really have a choice. So you either got to pay Peter or you got to pay Paul.
Thank you. That's what certain things need in place. Okay, Treasurer, you finished. Ms. Keisha? Kitchen, you have anything? Kitchen? Yes.
Okay, first, I need to get on my phone. This is from Trustee Brooks, from the desk of Trustee Brooks. He would like for me to know that his grandmother lost her fight with cancer, and that he would like to thank all the staff, board members, and residents who have supported him since she became ill in 2014, and his University Park family now. She doesn't want anyone to be sad because she lived a great 85 years. Just remember that God has the last word of when we leave, not man. And that was from Trustee Brooks regarding his grandmother. And Mayor Covington went to Miami this past weekend, and we received the email from Roosevelt Donat from Murphy and Partners. It reads, Mayor Covington, it was an honor, pleasure, and privilege meeting you at the 2018 African American Mayor Summit. Are you free early next week for a call? I'd like to discuss how I might be a resource to you. Mayor Bell and I have forged a relationship, and I'd like to bring resources to the African American Mayors Association to increase the success of its members. Enjoy your weekend. Cordially, Roosevelt Donat. Also, she received another email from Oliver Schwab. Vivian, thank you for what you shared about University Park's vision to develop hotels off the I-57 exit. I wanted to copy our executive team in the event they would like to join the call. You had mentioned wanting to get another set of eyes on where you are today and what strategic value our hospitality specialty can bring to your next phases of economic development. Best, Oliver Schwab. That's it for my reports.
Thank you. Board, have any reports? Announcement?
I do.
Mayor, just one follow-up comment from my comments related to Speedway. If they were to redevelop and, you know, come up with a really nice station and get more business, they would make more money, and so would the village receive more revenue. So it's a win-win situation, and they would be positioned for the long term. If they don't want to do something like that, the proposed development with the hotels also includes a gas station, and maybe the next
Sure did.
maybe the next gas station would be a lot more accommodating, and we could do the video gaming with them too.
Right. They did show us a beautiful model of one. It was in the package. Trustee Wilson? Oh, I'm sorry. Clerk, did you?
I just wanted to mention Human Services Special Events Committee. We are starting over. We're new. We've lost a lot of the resources of the residents who used to be on the committee and have all the background and the knowledge. We also have the battle of organizations not knowing who to contact. So we'd appreciate it if residents, if you have events going on and you want the village to partner with you, to please contact Diane Humes, who is the chairperson. I don't have a number for her, or Keith, the village, or Ms. Kitching, to do a partnership. We're open for all partnerships. We're open for all ideas. We are looking for other members to come and join us to help unify the community. And additionally, we reached out to VFW Post 311 in the village of Richland Park to help come up with ideas and activities for our veterans for Veterans Day week. And the VFW Post 311 is actually having a week-long of events from November 9th through the 14th. I'll have this up at the Village Hall. It's a flyer of all the events going on. There's a parade, a Veterans Day parade on Saturday, November 10th. Let me, it's the 10th, Saturday. Sorry, I don't have the dates here. Saturday, November 10th is a parade, and it's going to start off with little activities and light refreshments in Richlands Park Community Service Center, and they welcome all the University Park residents. We will be sending the flyer to everyone if anybody is interested, and we may not have your contact information. Again, please contact Diane Humes. You can get her number from the Village Hall, or Keisha Kitching. You can get her number from the Village Hall as well. I don't have anybody's numbers. If you want to give your number, contact number.
708-544-4237.
And then lastly, again, Human Services Special Events is partnering with the library from 1 o'clock p.m. ... There will be STEAM activities inside, other activities inside, trunk or treat outside, and if the weather permits, a fire pit. So please, we'll have a DJ available outside. So it's going to be a festive event. I know there's another event going on the same day and the same time almost, but we'll make sure that we collaborate moving forward. So if anybody else is having any events, let's contact each other and collaborate and have one event and unify the community. Thank you.
And I promise I will be brief this evening. Just to remind everybody, early voting has begun for University Park. It's Will County Clerk's office. They're still working to see, because they do have listed on their website Governor State University, but so far, as I understand from yesterday, they were not available yet for early voting. So you might want to contact the Will County Clerk's office to find out if there are any local sites for early voting. I voted yesterday in Joliet. One other thing, just to report on a training, the Municipal Clerks of Illinois Academy and training was held last week in Springfield, and we had some jam-packed, extensive training to start our sessions at 7 in the morning when we go all day. It was real informative. We were trained and discussed strategic planning and how the clerk, the stakeholders, the board, and everybody fit into this process. Extensive training on sexual harassment and some things that we take for granted, some little pet words that we might call certain people, now could be, taken in the wrong vein. Leadership's do's and don'ts, and I picked up a couple of books from the presenter, who's also the author of this, just one-line phrases on things that we might want to think about before we say them or do them as leadership. The other one was FOIA's, OMA's, and the election. So it was extensive, 3 days, but as always, we get a lot packed into that.
Hello, everyone. This is Curtis McMullen talking to everyone in TV land. I sat in on 2 different Speedway presentations. And the second one was to me, it was quite arrogant in the fact that I had suggested during the first presentation that they sort of liven up and beautify the Speedway that's in question over in Governor's Highway. And they had mentioned to us they're interested in the return on the investment. I just happened to, even before they came here, I inquired about them fixing up, sprucing up this place, making it look like the other speedways that I visit in Indiana and parts of Illinois. And we don't even compare to those in terms of sprucing up the place. So when they came in and they made that second presentation to us, he was quite adamant that they only want to make an investment in our town if they can make a profit. And I said, I concur with my colleague here, Trustee Payton, that we should hold them to the fire. If they want to do business with us, they should be able to do more than just beautify this place. They really need to make another speedway to do business with us, because they were very arrogant. They didn't even want to address the bathroom issue that I had mentioned about roughing in another bathroom or two. But it's going beyond that. If they want to utilize our city to try to gain profit for them, we have the metro station. We serve Cook County. We serve Will County. And we have the four-year university. We have college students. We have a lot to offer. And also, we have the largest industrial park in the state. So they should come with more than just resistance to me with cosmetic changes. Matter of fact, they should do more. And I'm going to hold them to that, along with my partner here, Trustee Payton. That's what I want to tell everybody. All right, thank you. That's my report for today.
Any others? I know Trustee Wilson had something she forgot.
I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, I've been seeing a lot of commercials about Metropolitan Water Reclamation District and other towns having where you can turn in your drugs, unwanted, they're collecting unwanted drugs on different days. And I was thinking we should do the same thing, and the mayor informed me that the police department is already doing that. So I wanted to inform some and remind others that if you have unwanted, unused drugs that you no longer need or they're expired, please do not throw them in the garbage. They get in the waterways and they affect everybody, youth, animals, fish, everything. So please take them to the police department. They have a drop-off for unwanted, unused, expired drugs.
Those are prescription drugs.
Prescription. Or if you find some unwanted, some drugs that you don't want on the street, you can drop those off over there too. Prescription drugs, yes sir.
Thank you so much, Trustee Wilson. My report, there are some which I will be giving to Ms. Jenkins. There are scholarships, programs, and I get these on a regular basis, and they're new scholarships, and they're quite substantial. AXAX Achievement Scholarships, Boyer Scholarships, Lamp for College, and their list of scholarships. So I'll be sharing for anyone that has kids in school, and they can go online and apply for these scholarships. It's right here. It's a text. All you have to do is go. Well, I'll share this with the board. Everyone, I've sent you one before too, but I'll give them to Ms. Kitchen. She will have them, and I'll give them to Neva Jenkins to put on the website, because I know everyone's always looking for money for the kids to go to school. There was an intriguing, I went October 17th through 19th to Miami, and my God, I went from 30 degrees to 91. And that was, I felt like I was going to a sauna. But it was very, very good, at my expense, again. And there were, well, first I want to back up and say, I want to give applause to Mr. Joe Lovelace for Saturday. They had all levels of government here. I've been to all the Get Out to rallies in Hazel Crest, Country Club Hills, all over. Olympia Fields, they never had the extreme all levels of government that they had here Saturday. So I applaud University Park and Mr. Joe Lovelace for his efforts, and Will County and what they did, because it was just fabulous. And I'm proud of our residents that came out to the rally. What we did there, there's a lot of things that I'm looking for in University Park, and my vision is constantly going and growing and growing. We had speakers. We went to the Comcast NBC Telemundo building there. It's just phenomenal. We do have one here in Chicago, but they're talking about branching it out even more. I will share some of the photos with Ms. Jenkins to show you just what they have. I was with Tim, which is the head of Comcast. He's very generous to us, and he and I are working on some things for the village. I have a vision that's going to really explode University Park with these access that we have here. The people I work with was financial services, and as Ms. Kitchen read, some of them, they are willing to come here and work with us and see if we have anything about our bonds and set up things for us for free. Our website, I know there's a lot of complaints about it, but open government was there, and it was the dream of dreams for technical people. We were geeked out. All these geeks were there, and they had so many things to offer and what we can come and automate University Park. We had the financial shit, and the one thing that I was really excited about was our Opportunity Zone. That was brought by Mayor Bell, and he said he'll be coming here to visit purposely just so we can get together and explain it to the village and help me with University Park on this Opportunity Zone. People, listen, this is phenomenal. Our governor was supposed to be giving us money for the Opportunity Zone. A lot of people never heard of it. So, although it's over, there's other opportunities that we can get, and they help a lot of financials. Virtual partners were there, David Wilson. There was the wireless lighting and Illumina. They were fantastic. They brought a lot of information for me. The technology app developers was there. They had the council with the Mayor Davis was there from Augusta, Georgia. Mayor Karen, which I would like you to know, she's getting ready to, and I'll be down there with her in California in November. She will, and I think Trustee McMullen will be joining me. I will pay for that again out of my pocket. I will be going there to see her get inducted. She will be the chairperson of the National League of Cities. So I was happy to be with her last week. Net Communications was there. We also had a policy and council public counseling was there for Comcast to show you how to structure that for your village. Like I said, Mayor Davis was there, Mayor Gary, Mayor Freeman, Mayor McKinley, and the moderator was Mayor Gilbert. He was there. Oh my God, he had the state of the village, and it was phenomenal. And I had the opportunity to be there with who was the owner of the Dolphins, and gave us a tour. And you looked at the Miami Gardens where he has come and built that stadium is unbelievable. And they had no money. They were broke and they were struggling. But you look at the Miami Gardens now, it's unbelievable. And the fundings, what the stadium alone in one section is $14,000 just to be in one room. And they are building and building. And they said, oh, Mayor Bell is going to come here and explain some of those things in capitals and how we can get them. And so is Mayor Gilbert and Mayor Freeman. They're willing to come here, make presentations to help us out, to get us on the right track with technology. So I was really excited about that. And again, my condolences to the families for the deaths. And you guys just keep the faith in University Park. We're moving like never before, and we will continue to move. And whatever it takes to get that done legally, we will do that. And I thank God for this board. They're doing a fabulous job. They're working with me. The staff, everyone's doing really, really good. So I appreciate that we communicate. We got our committees back together, and we're moving on the right track. So thank you all for coming tonight. We appreciate you. God bless you. I love you, and you can't do anything about it. May I ask for an adjournment? So moved by Trustee Wilson. Second? Second. Second by Trustee McMullen. Thank you all. No executive session. No.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye. And
Those
there's a
opposed, same sign.
None. There's a young lady here today.